What is going on, listeners?
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I would do even more better if you would tell me about this wonderful app we're using.
I think you might be to put a little much on it, but okay. Let me tell you about this wonderful app we're using. We're using Anchor.
Anchor.
And if you don't know what Anchor is, if you've ever wanted to do a podcast, listen to podcasts, want to start a podcast, want to do a podcast with your friends, Anchor is the best place to get started. Point blank, period. Because number one,
it is free, guys.
Free 99er.
Absolutely free.
Can't beat free.
No, can't beat it.
And
all.
I mean, there's a creation tool, helps you record and edit right from your phone or computer, however you feel like it, so you can get it just the way you like it. If you don't have, all the equipment, it's not going to stop you from recording or creating a podcast. That's all yours. Right?
Right.
Yeah, I love the input. Anchor will also help distribute your podcast so it can be heard just about anywhere, such as
Spotify,
and
Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean.
Yeah, that's a good one that you just learned today.
Or wherever you listen to your podcast
wherever.
at, you can find Date Night on there.
Ooh, nice plug. And you can monetize your podcast, no minimum listenership. Start making that good old money just for having people, listen to your podcast, your thoughts that probably no one else should ever hear. But, hey, that's what podcasts are for, right?
Right.
It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So if I were you, I would go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm. Where's it at, babe?
Anchor.fm.
Start your podcast today.
Hey.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fantastic, fantabulous, awesome episode of That Would Be the One. I am your host, Tracy.
And I am Kiana.
And what are we doing today?
We are doing the sequel, Space Jam.
And you sound so excited.
Space Jam New Legacy, is it?
Yeah, Space Jam A New Legacy. Which is an awkward name, but, they were reaching. Clearly, they were trying to separate this from
the first
Space
one,
Jam. They didn't want to just call it Space Jam because I'm still not sure if the movie considers itself a sequel or a remake. There are hints that say both.
Yeah.
But it's not clear as to which it actually is.
I think they tried to do both.
You think
really,
I mean, that's what it feels like. Like there's hints. There's hints that it's a sequel, but then it's also like, this has also never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird.
It's new.
But also not new.
The stakes are different.
Yeah, and I mean the game is different for the most part, which I have a problem with for the most part, but it is what it is, I guess. I have been hearing or seeing a lot of people saying you're not allowed to hate on this movie because it's a kid's movie. And I'm like, I can hate on whatever the hell I want, first off. And just because it's a kid's movie doesn't mean it's above reproach.
Yeah, no, I don't even know if it's really a kid's movie. Because there was like cursing at the...
Kinda.
Yeah, some cursing, I guess, because they bleeped it out, so it's okay, but...
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so let's dive right in.
All right. This movie starts where all movies should start, with a young LeBron. Just like the original with the young Jordan, we're getting a young LeBron, except the situation is different. He's being dropped off at a basketball game by his mother, who says something along the lines of, don't worry, everything's going to be fine, or whatever the case may be. It wants you to believe. It's trying to set the picture that, they're struggling. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, it happens. We get it. He meets up with his friend at this game, and he's like, yo, I just got the Game Boy Color. This movie starts to date itself, or at least it shows how old LeBron is. And then he's like, here, you can have my old Game Boy. And he's like, oh, sweet. And he's playing some Looney Tunes. He didn't take the game out. That's the part that tripped me out. He gave him a new Game Boy, but didn't take the game out.
Well, maybe it doesn't go with his new Game Boy.
They're compatible.
Oh, well, maybe he didn't want the game anymore.
That's a more fair assessment of what happened.
Yeah. So then LeBron's coach sees them over there playing, and he basically comes over there kind of like fussing at them, telling them that they need to focus on the game and, pretty much get your head out the clouds and all this stuff. And then while LeBron goes out there, he tells everybody, like the whole team in front of everybody, like, hey, whatever you guys do, don't shoot. Just pass it to LeBron. He's got this. And
which is cold as ice. As a parent in the stands, I'd be like, yo, wait, what just happened? Did he just exclude my child so that this guy could be the only person taking
just
shots?
Said my child sucked, pretty much. That's what he said.
Right.
So then LeBron shoots the ball, but he misses the shot, and everybody's all bummed out and whatnot. So they go outside, and his coach sees him, and he tells him like, hey, do you know why you missed that shot? And he was like, you weren't focusing because you're too busy playing on games. And, you got the skills and the talent to get you, your mom, everybody that you love out of here. So, why not?
There's a lot of pressure to put on a kid.
Yeah, so pretty much like make it happen. And LeBron ended up just like throwing his Game Boy in the trash.
It's just a dumb thing. Did you just be like, all right, coach, put it in your bag and be like, play when I get home. Can't stop me there. And then from there, we get the LeBron montage. And we also get a glimpse at how the soundtrack is going to sound for this movie. And I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I feel like
it's a lot of music now, like a lot of the new artists that are on there.
Just for the sake of having them. Like there's no...
Like whatever's hot right now, they put it in the movie.
Yeah, and they don't fit. I feel like the differences between the soundtracks is that the songs fit the movie. Mm-hmm. You start with Jordan's montage, you're literally playing a song called Space Jam. And here, I don't even know what this song is, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the movie or basketball or anything. It's just a song. Just a song.
I don't know either. I wasn't.
But I do like the LeBron montage. I thought it was pretty cool. It had a switch between real life and then blending it in with the animation and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Didn't like the music, but I enjoyed the montage itself. So where are we now?
So now we get introduced to his two sons, Darius and Dom. And Dom is sitting on the bench. I think he's messing on his phone. Like
he's playing a game.
Yeah. And then his brother is shooting, and they're having a conversation. And I guess the conversation was about like game camp or something.
Yeah. Well, the older brother was asking Dom. He said, "Hey, did you tell Dad about game camp yet?" And he was like, "No, I haven't told him." He was like, "You just need to just ask him." And Dom was kind of like, well, that's easy for you to say. He gives you whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Which kind of sets up the dynamic of the favorite son versus the not favorite son. Maybe it's intentional, maybe it's unintentional.
Well, it looks like the oldest son too, though, is really good at basketball,
and he likes and it's
to
his
play.
thing. Yeah, it's his thing. And I feel like this is where we get point of contention number one for me in this movie, and that is LeBron's character. His whole character is, there is no fun in doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's all about hard work.
Basketball is not fun. That's what he tries. It's not fun. It's serious, and which is not, because the whole purpose of you playing basketball is doing what you love.
Yeah, I mean, you can work hard at something and still enjoy it. And I think I didn't understand the idea of giving him this character, so to speak, to play, because I guess I do get it. It all comes together at the end of this movie or whatever, but it's still such a weird thing to do, like to just take this well-known public figure and be like, but this is how he actually, like, I don't know. I didn't get the direction. They could have just left it alone.
Yeah.
And made the stakes less about the lesson at the end, I guess. I don't know. But they also needed to make this movie like 2 hours long, so.
Yeah, like it was too much LeBron for me, and he's not that, I'm not hating or anything, but he is not a good actor.
You're not allowed to say that. You're a hater if you say it.
He's not really a good actor, and I feel like they gave him too much at first, because in the first one, they kind of just like jump right into like Michael Jordan. Like you said, it wasn't a whole lot of Michael Jordan. It was more tunes than it was Michael Jordan.
Yeah, because at the beginning we get Mike. He's not saying or doing a whole lot. He's just like existing. Even like when he's at the baseball game, he's not saying a whole lot. You know, the guy was like, "Hey, thank you for all the autographs." He was like, "Cool." And then that's it.
Yeah.
The other dude's doing most of the talking. Stan is doing most of the talking. Everybody around him is doing the majority of the acting work, and he just gets to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
In this, it's like they're giving LeBron so much to do, and it's like you don't want that to happen for a person who's not like a great actor. You don't want them to expose themselves further as a bad actor by having them keep giving them more and more and more and more and more to do. They should have just got to the point.
Yeah.
And it took way too long to get there.
It really did. So while they're still playing, LeBron is going over some drills with his son, but he's being like really hard on him. Like he's kind of being like an ass.
Well, not kind of. He's a dick.
And his son gets fed up and he starts walking away. He's like, so that's what we do. We just quit and we walk away and yada, yada, yada. And he was just all like, man. So he goes back and when he goes back, that's when we meet the wife, and she comes outside with like a disappointing look on. Like she's cool, like she's happy to see them all together.
Yeah,
but she's disappointed how LeBron is, pretty much being so hard on their son.
Yeah.
So then we get to the next part where she talks to him and she lets him know, like, you need to ease up on him. You're being too hard. Did you even know that he got an award for building his basketball game and everything? And he was like, what? No, I didn't know that. And, they're just having a conversation about it. And she was like, well, maybe you should bond with him more and stop talking so much about basketball. And he was all like, well, what else is there to talk about?
Which is
kind of like a shitty thing to say, because like you could talk to your kids about, you should talk to them about anything and everything.
It should just be about basketball. Just be
one thing.
Which is another weird character trait about him. It's like,
because I'm sure he does it. He's not like that with his kids. And we're like, is it about basketball? I don't want to hear it. Like
school. School? What are you talking about school for? I want to hear about basketball.
Exactly.
Like it's too much, because you're right. Like when they're having this conversation, he even kind of brushes it off a little bit when she's like, your son got an award for video games. He's like, video games. Like he doesn't take it seriously because it's not what he would do. It's not what he expects. Mm-hmm. So therefore it's not viable, so enter the villain. It's obvious that he's going to be, the trailers give it away. So it's not like it was a shock that Algae Rhythm turns out to be the bad guy here.
I honestly didn't even know he was in this movie.
Oh yeah. He was all in the trailers. You weren't paying attention. Yeah, he was in the trailer. So it was like
trailer, but I don't
what it does kind of like leads him to be like he's like this LeBron super fan. He's a computer program, and he's like this LeBron super fan.
Even with a super fan, it's always the villain.
Well, yeah, they kidnap people and try to wear their skin and have forced marriages and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. But he's LeBron super fan, and he's got this big idea to bring his ideas to life and get the recognition he deserves as a computer program. Sure. That's cool, I guess. I didn't know computer programs wanted recognition. Yeah,
well, he didn't. I was thinking that too. And I was like, well, how is he going to get recognition for it? But then the part that we're about to get to, he kind of like builds himself a whole character, and he puts it like in the commercials or his presentation for LeBron with him. So I was like, okay, well, maybe that's how, because that's what people will call them. Because I'm pretty sure, well, I don't want to give too much away until we get to that part. So,
I mean, who cares? But yeah, so because I mean, the next scene here is we get LeBron is trying to bond with this kid, which starts off as a pretty awkward scene because the kid is playing his game, the game that he created. He's having a good time, and LeBron, it's crazy. All his lights are off. His door is wide open, and LeBron comes in and knocks on the door. This kid starts fumbling around with everything like he was watching porn, and I was just like, it's just a game. What are you trying to hide? Also, LeBron has no frame of reference for the game that you're building. So if you were trying to hide it from him, you could just hide it in plain sight.
He just tried to hide it because it was a game. We see in the beginning how when he was playing a video game, he got all bent out of shape over it. So maybe he just didn't want to hear his mouth. Like,
fair enough. But
yeah, so he's trying to bond with him, and he's talking to him, and then he starts asking him about his game, and he's explaining it to him, and LeBron's just all like, "Oh, this is not real basketball."
Yeah, he's having an old man moment.
Yeah, like what? I don't understand these moves, this power up, all this other stuff, and he's like trying to teach him, and like that. Well, this, the style points. There's extra moves. I even put the move that you showed me in there.
And he was like, "Oh, what? I could do that." And then he tries to do it, and apparently it glitches the entire game and deletes Dom's character. Mm-hmm. And Dom's kind of upset about it, but never once does he blame LeBron. LeBron immediately tries to absolve himself of all the blame, though. He's like, "Oh, hey, I didn't have nothing to do with that. I was just doing what you told me to do." And he was like, "Yo, relax. You're putting a little more on it."
Like, nobody said that you did it. So, but yeah, so after that, after it deletes his character, LeBron's just like, "Oh, well, let's go head out to this meeting that I got." Yeah. So then we get the presentation that algorithm set up.
Algorithm.
That he has set up, and the presentation didn't really, I was a little bit lost in the presentation.
I'm still not sure what it was for.
Yeah, he was just a bunch of different characters and a bunch of different movies that already been done.
Yeah, that's it. I don't understand what they were launching. They tried to make it seem like it was supposed to be a big deal. And, they're super psyched about it. They're like, yeah, our algorithm put together the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, y'all, this is my big moment. They're finally going to acknowledge me." And LeBron's like, "Yo, this is stupid."
No, at first he tried to be nice about it. He was like, this is not him. He got to focus on his game. He don't really see himself doing, he don't see himself acting or
because,
anything.
athletes don't act.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. You get that, audience?
Right?
Cut him a little slack.
Exactly. That's what he was saying. They put that in there. So, yeah, and then they're all like, "Well, why don't you want to do it? Come on, just do it. Think about it. Maybe you need some time to think." He's like, "All right, look, it's just it's just straight up stupid." And when he said that, algorithm was just all like, "Stupid." He just starts going off. Who does he think he's talking to? And
I'm not stupid. You're stupid.
Yeah,
but he doesn't even stop at there. He's like, "This is stupid. It's probably one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard in my life. Whoever made this should be shot to death." And it's like, yo, relax, calm down. What if the person who made that was in that room right there, and you're just shitting on everything? It's a little rude, LeBron. It's a tad bit rude, man.
Yeah, so while they're talking, his son was like, "Oh, Dom was like, the algorithm made this. That's really cool." And him and this other dude, they start talking about tech and everything. And Dom breaks out "Yeah, I'm supposed to be going to game camp," and
drop that bombshell.
And LeBron just "Wait, game camp? What do you mean game camp? You're supposed to be going to basketball camp."
Also, not a conversation to have in front of strangers.
Exactly.
It's a little weird.
And I would have just let him keep talking. All right, we'll just talk about this later.
Yeah. You don't.
In front of strangers. He was all game camp. "No, you're going to basketball camp." He was all "No, I'm not. I'm going to game camp, and there's nothing you can do about it." And then he just exits the room. And then Sarah Silverman's character, not knowing what to do in that situation, she's like, "All right, it was nice to meet you."
Yeah, she's just cool. We're all having a good time here.
So LeBron follows him out and just like, calling his name, and Dom's not listening. He just keep going. And LeBron's like, man, I'm still your dad. And he just gets in the elevator with him.
And he just gives him that look. He's just like, all right, like what was that? And they're going down, and he was like, look, you made a commitment. You got to go to basketball camp. And Dom's like, no, see, you made the commitment. I didn't approve. I had no choice in this. I wanted to do something else that has my passion. He was like, it's video games. No one cares about video games.
He gives him that speech like, Dad, you never let me do me. You always got something to say about everything I do. That maybe basketball is something you want to do and not me. And, LeBron just doesn't understand that.
He's like, those words can't even be put together. Are you kidding me?
Who doesn't want to play basketball?
Who doesn't want to play basketball? It's the only thing that matters. And then, so they end up in this weird computer room, and Dom is clearly having the time of his life because he's looking at all this tech. He's having, and what is it? Like a big,
like a vortex
door,
thing.
And Dom's just like, cool, door, and just goes through it. No big deal. And then LeBron goes through it. Also no big deal. And then now they're in the presence of Al G. Rhythm, who is spicy as hell. He's a little upset by the hurtful things that LeBron has said about him. So, yeah, I would be upset.
So he comes out and he just saw like, who dare disturb such and such. And then he changes into a real person and he's just like, I'm just messing with you guys. And he introduces himself. He's like, oh my gosh, LeBron, I'm your biggest fan. But I thought you were taller in person. But then he just like talking to his sons, and LeBron's just like, what the heck? Like,
yeah, what just happened? Did I just get dissed? Yeah, you did. By a computer. Yeah, so he's talking to them both at the same time, talking about, how happy he is that they're here, and then boom, Dom disappears. Now he's talking to LeBron. He's like, look here, motherfucker. I heard what you said about my goddamn game. You can go suck it. We gonna have a basketball game. Yeah, just
pretty much. And calls in Pete, his little assistant, and was like, send him down to the rejects. And he goes down, and I forgot what the verse is called, so we're going to call it the Warner Brothers verse.
Just Warnerverse.
Or Warnerverse. We're going to call it that.
And if it turns out that that's what it is, then we're right. I thought it was.
I thought it started with an S, but I don't know.
Is it the serververse?
Yeah.
There it is.
Goes.
It was the S, and you gave it to me. Woo! Yeah.
So LeBron is just going through and he's passing all these worlds up. He's passing the Harry Potter world. He's passing Game of Thrones.
DC.
Yeah, a couple other stuff. And then he lands in Looney Tune
world. He just lands in a Looney Tune. Which one?
He lands in a Looney Tune world, and it is
now he's empty. A cartoon, by the way. Which, this is weird too, because he's a cartoon. His head is like upside down. He immediately turns it the right way and then was like, holy crap, I'm a cartoon. It's like, bro, you just turned your head the right way. You didn't know that when you did that? Like, don't give me that. You knew you were a cartoon the moment you were there.
It was surprising.
His cartoon instincts just took over. But yeah, so they're in Looney Tune land. It says population 1, and then boom, changes to 2. Mm-hmm. So now we're like, ooh, I wonder who it is. And it's pretty obvious from the gate who it's going to be. It's Bugs. Bugs is the only one left in Looney Tune land, world, place.
So, when he gets there, I forgot what Bugs was doing.
Nothing.
Okay, yeah. So LeBron is trying to have a conversation with him, and Bugs is still a little loony because who knows how long he's been by himself, and he's made like vegetables out of all his friends and stuff, and like you mentioned before, like when he made Porky out of a pig, and LeBron was all like, "That's just
out of a pumpkin."
Oh.
I was like, wait, what did you just say? You said he made Porky out of a pig? I was like, he is a pig, so you're telling me he would have got another pig to make Porky out of? That sounds... Oh, my God. That movie got dark real fast. I didn't know the Human Centipede was the Warner Brothers property.
Oh, my gosh, that movie.
Gross.
Yeah, so... made Porky out of pumpkins, and LeBron was all like, "Who are you talking to? That's just a bunch of pumpkins." And Bugs is all like, "Did you hear what he said to you, Porky?" Like,
he's essentially lost his shit. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This man has lost his absolute shit.
He really has. And then, so LeBron ends up telling Bugs, like, "Well, I need to assemble a basketball team because this man named Algae Rhythm," and Bugs already knew, like, Algae Rhythm. He's the one who got all the tunes from the Looney Town to leave. And
I feel like the name of this place is going to just continue to change throughout this entire movie. It's been Looney Tune Land, Looney Tune World, Looney Town. It's going to be Looney City. The state of Looney.
Yeah, so he tells them, like, he offered them something better and they took it.
Although it's not really better. And honestly doesn't make sense, but we'll get there. So, yeah, LeBron is telling him, like, he has to win this basketball game. So Bugs has an idea. He's like, "Oh, okay, I know some guys. I know how to help you get out of here and go find some players for your basketball game." Bugs is like, "I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to help him do his little basketball thing, but I'm also going to get all my people back."
Mm-hmm.
And which is weird because it doesn't take a lot of convincing to get them all back. So, you know what I mean? Like,
well, because it's just like the grass isn't greener on the other side.
Yeah.
So maybe where they were at, you see, well, when we get to Daffy, he's hijacking a train, trying to save it at the same time.
Yeah, he's trying to be bigger than Superman.
Yeah,
he's trying to save the day.
But he's making a mess out of everything, and I'm sure they don't want him there no more.
No,
so
they
that's
definitely
why
don't want him there.
Him and Porky was just happy to leave because the Justice League showed up. And pretty much like, y'all better leave or something's going to happen.
But I love that, like, when they get there, he's like, "Oh, snap." LeBron's like, "We're in Metropolis. Ooh, I wonder who I'm going to be." He was like, "Robin? How am I Robin?" It's like, yeah, it's kind of jacked up. But, I mean, look, let's be real about it. But then, so they get Daffy and Porky from the DC universe, essentially. And then it's other people. I keep forgetting where everyone is. I'm trying to remember who was in Game of Thrones land because that to me is the most interesting. But Yosemite Sam was in Casablanca. I know Granny and Speedy were in The Matrix. Mm-hmm. And the most important one was Lola. But we did forget that while he's doing this, LeBron already had the people he wanted on his team.
Yeah, he wanted Superman, the Hulk.
Not the Hulk. There's no Marvel in this universe.
I'm sorry, King Kong.
yeah, King Kong, Superman, the Flash, I think the Night King. He had some people ready. He was like, "Oh yeah, this team's gonna be stacked. There's no way we can lose."
Do you think the Night King could play basketball?
No. I don't think King Kong can play basketball, but he's big. Like I think that's what he was banking on. I don't think he was banking on people who necessarily knew how to play basketball. It was like, how can we get the most gifted people to do the bare minimum?
Yeah.
And that's really what he was thinking. And Bugs pretty much shat on his plan and was like, "Okay, I hear what you're saying. That's a really good idea, but fuck your idea."
Yeah, I know better people who could win this game.
Right, so he keeps picking up the Looney Tunes one by one, and then we get to, LeBron's like, "Okay, look, you can have your squad, but I need one baller. Just give me one baller." He's like, "Don't worry. We've got the girl for you." And of course it's Lola who has the best entrance in this whole thing because she's in Wonder Woman's world going through trials.
Yeah, so she's about to start and Bugs and LeBron show up and they see her, Wonder Woman making a speech to her, like basically telling her she has to run and make it back here at a certain time and do all these things so she can be what are they called?
An Amazon.
An Amazon. So she does it and she's flying through it really good. And LeBron and Bugs are trying to talk to her through the whole thing while, she's doing her trial. And she's telling them, like, "Can you guys leave, please? I've been really working on this, like, for a long time, and you're going to blow it for me."
Yeah, and this is some of LeBron's best acting while he's doing all, like, the voices and him, like, being scared on that lava rocks and all that stuff. Like, he's doing a good job here. And then, yeah, you're right. Lola is doing the thing, and she's like, "Okay, I have to go. You guys are ruining this for me." Bugs and LeBron are about to fall in some lava, and she has to make the decision to either finish her trial in time or go save them. And she chooses to go save them, and she's super disappointed because she's like, I was working really hard for this, and you guys screwed it up. But lucky for you, it's a cartoon, and it always has happy endings. And Wonder Woman was like, sometimes being a hero means you have to make sacrifices for stuff and things and stuff. She's like, so, you're good. You can leave.
Told her she was an Amazon. She can go and help her friends first. And so that's what they do. And while they're on the, while they're on the ship that they stole
from Marvin the Martian,
he's trying to, pretty much we get like another little short montage where he's trying to train them and to knowing how to play basketball.
Yeah, he's basically like trying to do his coach thing. Like, all right, guys, this is how we do it. And they're like, man, we know what we're doing. And they do a bunch of good old Looney Tunes, loony stuff, basketball style. And LeBron's like, this is not basketball. I don't know where you got that idea from. And he's being him. He's being super mean about it like he was earlier. And he's just like, no, focus and hard work and all that stuff. And that's the only thing. That's the only way. It's the only way. There's no other way to do this game at all, period.
Like, you guys are not going to win this game with what's being loony.
Yeah. And while we're doing that, we'll also have Algae Rhythm, who is setting up this. He's still manipulating Dom. He's trying to get Dom to be, the captain of his team. But he's also interested in his game and his tech. Because he's like, ooh, I got it. We could put your game in the game that we're going to play and all this other stuff. And, we've got a team set up. Because he had the NBA players that he had scanned from from a camp or something that his dad was running. And it was Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, Diana Taurasi, Anthony Davis. I keep forgetting her name because I don't know how to say her last name, but I know they call her shit. I'm going to remember it. Anika. There it is. And they're all, they're there and they're having a good time and they're all being scanned into this game. And Algae Rhythm sees that and he immediately gets that idea where he's like, yo, let me borrow your phone real quick. Let me see that. And he's like, yo, steal all of this data because we are about to upgrade. So he uses that to create different versions of these NBA players specifically for his team. Then he also convinces Dom to upgrade himself. And Dom at first, which I also don't understand because he was like, go ahead, give yourself some stats. And he was like 76 to like his handles. And it was like, really? You gave yourself a 76? You have unlimited potential here and you gave yourself a 76. I would not have done so. What would you have done?
I would give myself 100.
Yeah, duh. I don't even know why that wasn't even thought, but he did. He gives himself all 100s and he's ready.
Yeah,
he is
and
ready.
All the characters that he scanned in the game of the, the NBA players, he turns them into monsters pretty much.
Yeah.
Like Dom does. And he gives them like weird upgrades, but like you said, it coincides to their actual game, what people call them and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of the Anthony Davis thing, I didn't get as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, everybody, Anthony Davis was the brow. You have Klay Thompson as wet fire, which, is basketball terms. And obviously he's a great shooter, so it makes sense. You have Diana Taurasi as the white mamba, which is what they call her. You have, what did they call the other girl? It was like, she was a snake or a tarantula.
Yeah, she was a spider.
I don't remember what they called her. And then you had Damian Lillard as Kronos because, it's Dame time. Kronos is the god of time, in case you didn't know. Now you learned something.
I did. So while Dom is doing all of this, Algae Rhythm is sending out an app and texting people, to come watch the game. It's father versus son, and it's LeBron and Dom on the cover, kind of facing off like a boxing match. But yeah, so they sent everything out to everybody, and when people click on it, they actually get sucked inside into what is it called again?
Toon World, the serververse.
Yeah, the serververse.
Yeah, because what happens is like, LeBron is still trying to get them to play basketball and they're still doing whatever the hell they want to do. So he's like, it's too late. Time is up. The game is about to start. So Algae Rhythm comes and he's like, yo, we trying to put some butts in the seat. And this is when we get what I assume is just a lot of money thrown at this movie with all these different characters, the Mask, King Kong, the Flintstones, like like 3 different versions of Batman. I saw 3 Catwomans in here.
Some of the characters from Game of Thrones.
It's a lot going on here. Casablanca characters, Harry Potter characters show up for
but did they really have to pay to put those in there since it was filmed at their place?
I mean, maybe not as much, but I feel like it's, unless Warner Brothers itself is like, this is my movie.
Yeah.
It's still, a director still has to go through the studio to do all that stuff. So it's not, it probably didn't run them as much as it would like in Ready Player One, where definitely they were spending a lot of money to get the licensing for those characters and stuff. But this one probably not as much. I don't know how it works if you're from the same studio.
No.
So, who knows?
So, like I said, everybody downloaded the app, and when they opened it, now everybody, a lot of people got dragged into Looney Tune Town. And who do we see? We see a couple of famous people there.
Well, Lil Rel is in there. Ernie, Ernie Johnson from TNT, who announces basketball games and stuff like that. His family is there. There's famous people in there?
Yeah, the guy on Get Out was on there.
Who?
He was the security guard.
Yeah, that's what I said. Lil Rel. That's his name. Get your shit together. I was like, who else is famous in there? I just saw a bunch of random people.
Okay, well, yeah. So they're all there, and like you said, his family is there, and LeBron runs up to them, but when he
it's like
tries to, it's like a force field over it, so nobody could get inside and nobody can get out. And he's talking through it, and she's like, what's going on? And he was like, I gotta save Dom, I gotta win this game, or else he's gonna pretty much keep us here forever. And then the son was all like, his older son Darius was all like, Dad, do you even know how to play Dom's game? And he was all like, no, but
he was like, it's basketball.
Yeah, how hard can it be? And the son just gave him a look like, okay, like.
And this is once again, and this is where the lessons start coming in. It's like, oh, maybe you should have been paying attention to your son. And maybe the fate of all humanity, since apparently everyone in the world was looking at that app at the same time. So, every single, which there has to be like real life ramifications for all that stuff. Like somebody might have been looking at it while they were driving. What if a pilot was looking at it while he was all, you know what I mean? Like,
but my thing is though too, if I get dragged to another universe and I see Looney Tunes and stuff there, I'm not going to be sitting there watching a basketball game.
But not even just that. Across the way, there's King Kong just chilling. Like, there's so much going on.
There's a lot going on. Like, what just happened?
I have questions. LeBron's just like, wait, don't worry, it's a basketball game. If I win, we're good. If I'm not, we're not good.
Everybody kind of just like knows the gist of it already. Like what's going on.
We've seen this before.
So, I guess we're waiting for Dom and his team to come, and when they finally do, it's dark out, and he starts introducing everybody, and then they save Dom for last, and LeBron's just all like, what the heck, like what's going on? And he's telling Dom, like, what are you doing? Do you know this is real? Like, he's planning on keeping everybody here if we lose the game and all stuff like that. And Dom was like, what are you talking about? He wouldn't do that. And he was all like, he's not a good man. He's not a good man. And he was all like, Dad, it's just fun. It's just fun. Have fun.
Yeah, and it's like, this is at this point, it's LeBron's fault because he never listens to him. So why would he believe, like, if you're Dom, he's like, yeah, he's just trying to ruin my fun again. He doesn't want me to play video games. He doesn't want me to play in a basketball game. What does my dad want me to do? But, it is what it is at this point. So this game starts, and it's very clear that this is not a basketball game as soon as it starts. Because LeBron and Dom are both jumping for the tip-off like we always do. But Dom jumps on this power-up and shoots straight through the scoreboard and all that other stuff.
All the way in the sky.
It's ridiculous. It actually takes a little long for my liking. He grabs his ball, and LeBron's like, what? What's happening? What's going on here? He's like an old man who who finally woke up from a coma and just doesn't understand why phones don't need to be on a wire.
Yeah, I like too that Laurel, he was all like, we gonna be all right. We got LeBron, we got the man. And then when he did that power up move, he's all like, oh no, we're gonna get crushed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you are in the stands, you're looking like, what the fuck just happened? I thought this was a basketball game. I was sorely mistaken. We are going to lose. We are going to get crushed because I don't know what's going on. And apparently the only people who do are on the other team. That's not really a fair thing.
Exactly.
So then, he gives the ball up. They do some crazy stuff, and then they end up with like 300 points. And LeBron's looking at the scoreboard like, yo, what?
Yeah, and then his son's like, style points, Dad.
Told you. Whoa, you should have been paying attention.
So it's pretty much Dom's game and it's Dom's rules. And LeBron he doesn't know what's going on. None of them know how to play. So they're getting a couple of shots, but not as much as they like.
Because they're not getting any style points.
Yeah. So then we have the guy with the slow-mo. He comes
Kronos.
out. Yeah, Kronos.
Damian Lillard.
And he comes out and he's like speeding through time where everybody's just going in like super slow motion.
They ripped that from X-Men for sure. That Quicksilver scene, this is a direct rip because, he slows down time and he's doing stuff. Mm-hmm. He's like, he takes the Roadrunner. He serves him up to Wile E. Coyote. He's like messing with everybody. I think he like makes somebody hit themselves. It's just, he's doing a whole lot because he's in Dame time. Then Dame time is over, gets the ball, and scores another like 1,000 points.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the score was, but we get to halftime. It's like 1,016 to
it's a lot.
10.
So they go inside the locker room and everybody's all beat up and tired and depressed. And, Lola is trying to give some motivation to her team. She's like, you guys, we can do this. We've done this before. Don't give up. We got this.
And LeBron is counteracting everything she says.
He was a Daffy in this situation.
Oh, from the first one? Yeah. Because she's like, yeah, we've been here before. Wink. You know what I mean? This isn't the first time we've been down. Wink. She's just like, hey, we can do this, guys. We just have to get out there and we have to just start doing what we do best and blah, 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 whatever the case may be. And LeBron's like, how? None of you guys know how to play basketball. I'm a coach, I think, is working for the other team. Granny's over here drinking a martini. Yeah. And she legitimately was. Which, once again, kids movie.
So then we get Sylvester comes in. He's like, you guys, I found Michael Jordan. He's here. So everybody, even LeBron James, excited. He's like, what? Really? Like, he's here. And
you get the slow-mo walk.
Up
and it also takes way too long.
And it turns out it's Michael B. Jordan.
Which I knew from the moment they said it. I was like, obviously Michael Jordan's not about to be in this movie. This is going to be a play on words. And he was like, yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
He was like, I was just chilling in the stands getting some popcorn. This guy grabbed me. And I love Daffy's note where he was like, wrong Michael Jordan, trade Sylvester.
Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan, he cracked me up in this movie because, when he just like, oh, shoot, say something encouraging. Okay, guys, we got to win. We got to fight. And he's like giving it his all. He's going in. And LeBron's like, nah, man, nah. He's like, oh. Okay.
You're right. This is your team. Your squad, you got this. You guys got it. We're rooting on you. We're all counting on you. No pressure.
Yeah, so then they start arguing again, and Tweety drops like a bomb on him, was all like, nah, it's not us. You're just a bad dad. It was all like, wow. Yeah, like, dang, kids movies too. And LeBron, I feel like he probably kind of got out of character a little bit, like, who are you talking to?
What the fuck you say, nigga? Like that shit, because that was like, yo, what? Because
that was
when I heard that, I was like, damn, man, we're doing that. But you know what? And this is something I've noticed in movies. You can always call somebody a bad dad in movies, but if this was like a mom in the exact same situation, the same character, they would never have the audacity to say she's a bad mom. Ever. Show me a movie where that happens.
All right.
You can't name it. There's always bad dads, but there are no bad moms in the movie verse.
Yeah, so
Just wanted to let everybody know that I think that's bullshit.
yeah, it is. Every mom is not the greatest.
But it doesn't matter. The moms can be terrible in these movies, and the kids will still be like, "Mom, you're the greatest." What the fuck did she do? Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah, so after Tweety says that, LeBron says something else, and then Lola steps in, and what did she say?
Well, because he was like, "What are you guys even doing out there?" She was like, "We're trying to be like you."
Oh,
Duh.
yeah, and then when she said that, he was just all like, Dom's voice popped in his head, and it
you
was
never let me do me.
Yeah.
Like, I never let you do you.
Yeah, let me do me. Like,
whoa.
Those kind of moments, like you look up while you're saying it.
My God. It's all coming together. It finally clicks.
Yeah, so then they go out there, and now they're loony, and they're having fun.
And I hated this only because I enjoyed the loony. When this happens, the movie starts getting more entertaining. But it's when they come out for halftime, LeBron goes up to Algie Rhythm with this mean mugging face on. Then all of a sudden, he changes to what I guess is supposed to be a loony face, and the rest of the Looney Tunes appear behind him. And I'm just like, that was bad. That was bad.
It was
so bad. It was like, I was like, ew, gross. It looks stupid. Never again.
Yeah, so then I kind of felt like, too, Lola scared me a little bit, because when she smiles, her face just reminds me of the Joker.
I remember you saying that too.
You want to know how I got these scars?
And I think that's a lot of that has to do with the 3D animation that ended up happening, because when they were cartoons, it didn't look like that.
Yeah,
but
no, it didn't.
They all looked weird in 3D to me, though. It was just like, except for Daffy. It's just weird that Daffy is the only one who seems to look like
Porky looked fine too.
Yeah, Porky looked normal. Bugs looked like they made him look like he was cracked out a little bit. Like his I don't know if it was just like trying to over detail his fur, but he looked like a cracky.
I don't know, but they're out there, they're having fun, and they're actually winning now because they're being their loony selves. And
well, they're not winning, but they're coming back.
They're catching up. So
they're getting some crazy style points.
And we even get a rap battle with Porky,
the notorious P.I.G. All right, so this might not mean much to you, but I found out that a rapper named Murs actually wrote those bars for the Porky Pig battle, which makes sense. Murs is dope. I like Murs, but this seems like something he would want to do because he's a goofy dude. So it's pretty fun.
Oh, that's nice.
But still, I hated this scene so much.
I said Porky killed it.
Well, he was rapping against nobody. This was a one-sided battle. I hated the part of Daffy being like, "Oh, we're rapping now? That's what we're doing? We're rapping now?" I was like, what? He's like, no, I wasn't rapping.
It's kind of funny because when you see Algie Rhythm's face, he's just looking like, what's going on?
Like when did
a rap battle break out?
I don't remember what movie it is, but he reminds me because he's just like, when did I lose control?
Yeah, pretty much. So now, like I said, the tunes are catching up. Like they're almost caught up to them.
And this is Algie Rhythm, mad as hell, what you were talking about.
He calls a timeout, and then he pretty much starts cursing out his team, and he was all like, what are you guys doing? And he looks at Dom, and he was all like, and you, worst of all, you're just out there sucking and all this other stuff.
He's like, I thought you were supposed to be good. I thought you were supposed to be better than your dad and all this other stuff.
And then he like just rolls his eye at him, and then
like, get it together.
And then he goes to sit down, and and he falls, and he was all like, if you scoot down, everybody could fit on the bench.
I gotta say, Don Cheadle is the best part of this movie because he's having a great time. He's hamming it up. It's just, he's clearly the only one who fully understands what this movie is. And he's like really leaning into it, which makes it so much fun.
He's really having fun with it.
That's what I think. He's really having fun. I think everybody else is trying too hard.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's just LeBron, but yeah.
So LeBron like kind of overhears, and he's looking at what's going on. So in the middle of the game, he makes a speech to his son, which, there was like no emotion with him really. It was
he just like drops the ball and he's like, "Yo, Dom, what up, man? Sorry."
Pretty much, like, he knows he hasn't been a good father, but like I feel like there should have been like everybody else. they was like, oh, I got tears and all
It's
stuff
like, you
that.
don't know what's going on.
There was just like straight and no emotions with him. But yeah, he just lets him know that he's sorry that he hasn't been there for him like he should. And he's sorry for not letting him do him. And Dom was just like, you know what, Dad, I love you. And I'm going to play on your team now. So Dom switches teams and he plays on his dad's team. And so now that he did that, Algae Rhythm decides to play in the game, and he turns into like this big...
yeah, but before that, they bring back in Dame. They bring back in Kronos, Dame time, because they're down a player.
Oh yeah, Granny faces off,
which I didn't understand that at all. This dude can literally freeze time. We saw him do it, and somehow just her being old like stopped it. Well, I don't understand
because he thought that since she was old, she thought she was slow, so he felt like he didn't need to use it on her.
Well, then she started showing off. Immediately, he should have been like, all right, nope. I have been watching them go loony this past half. I have to stop time now. And he didn't. And she just like blew him up. I didn't.
She
reversed his time thing and made him old.
She forward the time and it made him a really old person.
Which he's a robot. I don't see how that happens either, but whatever.
Yeah. So then, so like I said, now Dom is on, sorry.
Algae Rhythm.
Okay, yeah. So now Algae Rhythm, and he's playing in the game now. And it sucks because Lola made a shot, and he kind of like reversed it and took it out, and it didn't count.
Yeah.
And now it's like not fair. He was like, it's my game, my rules. He was like, you guys are not going to win. I control everything. I control the game now. So now they got to figure out a plan on what to do.
Yeah.
So, Dom was all like, I got an idea, but I don't know if it's going to work. And they're all like, what? And so he was telling LeBron, like, remember when we used the move and it glitched? He was like, well, we can do that again because it'll stop Algae Rhythm and he won't have control over the game no more. So we could win. And they're trying to figure out who's going to do the move because if one of the Toons do the move, then they'll die.
And then
because it deletes you. So LeBron was like, okay, well, give it to me. And then they're all like, no, no, we're not going to do that. He's like, look, if you guys do it, you'll probably end up dead. Let me do it. I'm not a cartoon.
And I think you had said that too when they were going over
I was like,
who
well,
was.
why don't they let one of them do it? Because like, you think it will really delete them like in a game? Like,
yeah. And well, that's the thing because it deleted the character. But that's also like that's an isolated glitch. You don't know that that's what's going to happen again. You're just assuming. You haven't tested that enough to know that happens
you only
every
did it
time.
That one time.
Exactly. So you're really banking on this right now. And they're like, all right, we're going to let LeBron do this. And Bugs is like, nah, nigga, I can't let you go out like that. For whatever reason, I don't even understand because you don't even know that it would affect LeBron. Like, maybe he was right. I would have let him do it.
Yeah.
I would have 100% let LeBron do it.
Yeah, so then after that, so they're getting ready to do the move, and and everybody starts playing. So then Bugs Lola passes the ball to Bugs, and instead of Bugs passing it, before Bugs passed it, Bugs actually ended up doing the move.
Yeah.
And then, they didn't see that coming because everybody was all like, telling him like, no, why would you do that? And then he passes the ball to LeBron. And I thought they were going to do the same thing like they did in the last Space Jam because they did a slow-mo, because Algae Rhythm hangs onto LeBron's foot, and you got everybody saying, he's not going to make it, he's not going to make it. And so I thought they were going to make his arm stretch, and he was going to do that. And I was like, wow, that would be really dumb if they did that. But then...
Right, twice?
Yeah.
Come on.
Then they did it. It was kind of better. Dom bounced the ball in the power-up, and it went under LeBron's foot.
I thought he threw the power up under him.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
He threw the power up.
I was like, damn, did I see this wrong?
Yeah, I was like, now that
I know I was drinking,
how did he throw a ball if the wrong? Yeah. So yeah, but he threw the power up. Power up.
Yo, power up. Gotta get your power up.
You sound like Mark Wahlberg from Fear.
I've never seen that movie. No, I have not.
Oh man, but yeah, so he throws the power up under his foot, and LeBron, it bounces him up, and he makes the shot, and they win.
Yeah. So then, after that, everybody starts going back to where they came from or whatever the case may be. The tunes get turned back to normal, to cartoons instead of the 3D joint. And
everybody goes back to where they came from. And then we get Bugs is laying there and he's glitching. You can see him glitching. And I put Bugs dies, ?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I said Bugs got deleted, ?
So then everybody goes back to their lives pretty much, and we get to LeBron is walking with Dom to go, which Dom thinks he's going to basketball camp.
Yeah, and this is a pretty dumb gag. I didn't like the whole, "Are you sure?" He's basically like, "Yeah, basketball camp's gonna be great, right?" He was like, "Yeah, totally, basketball camp." And then he gets there, and it's like, I feel like just driving in there, you should have already known where you were going. The signs would have been up. Everything would have been right there. Come on, man.
It looked like they walked there.
From where?
I don't know.
Geez, that just can't be around the corner.
But yeah, so he does. They're talking. He's like, "Yeah, you sure you don't want to go to basketball camp no more? You sure you want to go to basketball camp?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to go to the game camp anymore." And then LeBron's like, "Dang, well, that means that I just spent all my money for nothing." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he looks up and he sees that he's at game camp and he's all happy,
Well, yeah, because he was like, after the game, he was just kind of like, "Yeah, I've had enough of video games for a while," or whatever the case may be. But yeah, he's like, "Oh, snaps, game camp. Thanks, Dad. You're the best. I don't hate you like I said I did earlier. My bad."
Yeah, so then Dom goes into game camp, and then we see Bugs, and LeBron was like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "Well, I told you I'm a tune, and tunes don't die." And
which is just very weird because you were dead. You were legitimately dead. You can't just make that claim because you didn't even know that you couldn't die when that happened.
They die all the time in Looney Tunes, especially the villains.
Especially Wile E. Coyote is dead. Tweety got stepped on. That nigga is dead.
Tweety got eaten and then spit back up.
How long was he in there? Because
Sylvester's not chewing his food.
Because he was like, "Hey, does anybody see?" Because that was earlier when they got everybody. He was like, "Has anybody seen Tweety?" He spits him up. He's like, "What year is it?" I was like, "Yo, what? How long have you been in there?" Ate him. Ridiculous.
But yeah, so that was it. Yeah,
Wile E. Coyote was in Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, yeah, he was.
It was him and who else was in there?
Wasn't Tweety? I thought Tweety was in there.
I don't think Tweety. No, the Roadrunner was in there.
Oh, okay.
It was him and the Roadrunner, yeah. That was a good one. That was a pretty fun one. Yeah, so that is
Space Jam New Legacy.
Yeah. So, what do you give it? What do you say?
I give it a 3.
Now that it's all said and done, in comparison, what would you say? Which was the better of the two, in your opinion?
I would say this one was more entertaining, especially the end game part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them both equally the same. They both have their ups and downs.
Yeah.
Their ins and outs.
I think for me, because I describe the original Space Jam as the best, worst movie of all time because I realize how bad it is, but it's entertainingly bad. This one I felt like wasn't going for that. They were trying to be like, "This is a really good movie."
Yeah, they tried to actually make
and it was
movie.
Like, if you look past what they were trying to do, it is a very entertaining movie. I would give it a 3 too, because I think it is very entertaining. I think obviously the acting is bad, but Michael Jordan's acting was bad too. It just didn't show as much because he didn't have nearly as much to do. And I think the supporting cast here is better, even though, Bill Murray was great for the, once again, for the little bit that he's in here. You don't really. This movie was for the Looney Tunes and a little bit of Michael Jordan.
Yeah, this movie was for LeBron.
Yeah, this movie was for LeBron.
It was his movie.
But Don Cheadle is the standard. He made this movie. If he wasn't in here, if you would have gotten, I guess, anybody else's movie probably wouldn't have been nearly as good.
I think they could have got, I would have liked to see how Jim Carrey did with this part.
Nah.
You think so?
Nah, it's got to be Don Cheadle. It's got to be black. First off, it's got to be black. We got to be black.
Yeah.
It's got to be black. You can't have a white guy named Algae Rhythm. It's just not working for me. I'm not letting that one slide.
Oh my gosh.
God. Yeah. But I mean, I would watch this movie again.
I wouldn't.
I would. It's gonna be one of those movies for me where it's like it's so bad it's good for me.
Yeah, that's like too. I wouldn't watch the original Space Jam again.
That's because you're weird.
I guess.
That I guess you are. They just said it.
But, yeah. So, as always, thank you guys for listening. I don't know why I keep wanting to say thanks for watching. I'm not watching anything, but thank you guys for listening. Thank you for the support. We appreciate you so much.
Indubitably.
If you would like to hit me up or try out some edibles that I got. Like I said, I made hot wings, chicken wings. That's the same damn thing.
It's the same damn
hot
thing.
wings, chicken and waffles, egg rolls, God damn it,
brownies, cookies, candy. She's making shot glasses. She's got some drinks. The Ha Blast is my favorite.
Hit me up at Instagram.com/key_ingredients.
Yep, and obviously you can find me at Tracy at Instagram at Tracy_date night pod. Also, don't forget to check out the Brotherhood podcast, brand new. Me and my brother doing what we do. It's a good time. Also on YouTube. Don't forget to check that out as well. It's gonna be a lot of stuff coming, guys. A lot of stuff coming. So be on the lookout for that. And that's all I got.
Well, have a great evening, great morning, great evening, great night, whatever time you're listening to this. And bye.
Bye.